So I'm going around with some white and trying to get that just in the middle, like that. Add a little bit there. Small amount there and there. Okay. So we've highlighted up his hair a little bit. We've got some volume. I think we might add a little bit around the bottom of his hair as well, actually. Just so we've got a nice, or maybe along the, I don't know, but we'll do along the coat instead. Like that. That's a bit better. No, I mean, we've got a froghemoth, Dave. We've only got the one, and I'm not allowed to paint it because iZombie wants to paint it. Because he loves the froghemoth. Okay. I'm going to see if I can make a glaze out of my coat. I might have to highlight up some more, actually, before I glaze over it. Otherwise, I might lose too much of my highlighting. So I'm going to add in a little bit along here in white. Along that edge. There. No, iZombie does not have to stream anything. Right, there we go. Add a little bit around the shoulders and across this arm. I'm kind of going patchy so it looks a little more uneven. We'll have a bit more wear on this elbow. Pick out that strap around the arm. Got a couple of creases here that we could do with picking out. Yeah, it's finding time, Dave. That's the problem. Yeah, I need to be careful doing that though, otherwise we're just going to clog up the needle. There is a strap here as well, we can pick that out. Upsides of using the white is we can pick out some details that we can't quite get with our stippling. And we'll soften it all with the glaze, so. Go. And go around the bottom. He doesn't need to duct tape the kids to me. I will happily look after them while he airbrushes, but there's always other jobs to do. Right now, obviously, on here moderating for my stream, while I paint up minis for a role-playing game. Thank you very much for the follow. Emerald FV. Emerald. Nice. Yeah, she could have been painting. You could still paint, you know. You could come pinch some paints and paint. It's not forbidden. Just not allowed to take the colours I'm using. So, Emerald, how have you found the stream? And what are you up to? How are you doing? Share with the group. Would be amazing. Teach the minions how to paint. I am teaching my eldest to paint. His skills are lots of daubing. Right. Let us make a glaze. Because glazing is always fun. But the children are having lessons in painting miniatures. The eldest is. The youngest is just too young. I mean, my eldest is 3.5. He gets distracted after a while and sits there painting on his hand. He's like this. He's like, oh, I'm just going to paint a pattern here. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to be putting paint on the miniatures. Oh, yeah. So I'm glazing over in the base colour, so that way we can balance this out a little more. But he does paint. I have some of his miniatures around. They're actually on my desk. But I think actually the painting on his hand is seeing me testing paint like this, so decides to also test his paint, which is comical. A friend recommended the stream. Ah, I see. This is Malthus. So perhaps this is your character. Yeah. Yep, we are painting up Malthus. The model was apparently a very good fit. So I have some lovely artwork that I'm basing it off. I think we need to go a little more blue. I am going to add weathering at the end and make him look a little scruffier, but we need to add all the base colours in first. So we'll add some... I mean, he looks pretty clean in the artwork, but I've added the green band to the back as well. We'll highlight that up as well, make it look a little more obvious and prominent. But yes, we are, in fact, we'll do that now-ish. Because we're at a good point to do that. Definitely need more green in there. The art is really good. It's a very good reference for painting him. We went with the green tie because it was convenient. But yeah, the miniature itself had a tie, but otherwise he's pretty good representation, apparently. I mean, he looks quite close to the art. So I'm going to add some highlighting along here. I can bring out more of that green. But yeah, the plan is to stream every Saturday and bring some Suzerain to life in miniature format. So this will be a regular thing as well. I don't know what we've got planned for next week yet. We'll highlight up the tie as well. But we've gone with the nice dark hair that he had on the artwork. Yep, we went with black hair, and then we gave him some volume by highlighting up around the crown. And we did a little down the side as well. We still need to highlight the skin tone, so he still looks a little dark. The art is he's tanned, but not, he's tanned basically. So we're going to highlight up a little more and give him a bit more of a tanned look. He looks a little too heavily tanned. It's probably from the wash, actually. I do think we need to lighten up the blue a bit, though. That's still looking quite dark. So I think we'll make a glaze and see if we can brighten it up. During the day, starting next week. Oh, of course, I remember you mentioning you're going back to work. Yeah. Well, I still stream on a Tuesday evening, and I'll still stream every Saturday now. Doing Suzerain minis. Woo! Or Suzerain characters as minis. River Troll. Ooh. I could maybe do a River Troll for Suzerain. We can call it Dave. Let's brighten up this blue with a nice bright glaze. I'm sure we've got plenty of troll miniatures around. I don't know, Emerald, is Malthus here likely to encounter a river troll? Or something close enough. I mean, in a post-apocalyptic landscape, it's entirely possible to encounter something mutated enough to look like a river troll, I'm sure. You met a lot on the river. I heard that the paddle boat that he's captain of spent a lot of time impersonating a submarine. Which I imagine was quite embarrassing for... can't have too many trolls. Yeah, the online trolls we can do without. Dave's not too bad. Yes, Dave, but I can't pinch that because it's not my board game. Maybe we can find a paddle boat miniature, and we can paint that up on stream sometime. That'll be quite a way off. I've got to find one first. And we can maybe drill some holes in it so it's more realistic for the game. There was a croc-like thing that chomped the first mate pretty hard. Oh dear. Yeah, that I think it will be quite hard to find, and I imagine getting something like that would not be a cheap buy either. We can have a dig around, see what we can find. Because it would be nice to paint up something that's not human sometime. I paint up a lot of humanoid minis. The heavy flame already. Could always find this mini. Let's have a look and let me see what mini that is. Oh yes, that guy. Yeah, I don't think he's I don't think he'll fit in with Suzerain particularly. I could be wrong, but I don't think he'll fit in with the Suzerain universe particularly well. Highlight up this tie a little more. We can do round the back as well. So it does look more green now. Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe if there was an adventure that involved going to a fancy dress party. Probably not the best idea in the Wilderlands setting. Going to a fancy dress party dressed like that. Imagine that'll get you shot pretty fast. Let's have a look. A bit too chibified, but yeah, something like that could work quite well. That sort of theme could work quite well, but yeah, I'm not sure chibis are going to work. Very adorable. The cave troll. I'm not familiar with that one. I mean, we have several trolls. But I mean, we don't have any. We've got the bones minis, so if it's only in metal. I was tidying up this shoulder because I got green on it. There we go. But yeah, that theme would definitely work, Dave. Yeah, but for tabletop gaming... Right. So, we still need to highlight the skin. So I'm going to go with this P3. I don't actually know what it's called. It's something flesh. I will definitely look that up later. Maybe a zombie you can load it up and I can have a look later. I mean, obviously I'm not really in a position to start searching Reaper's site. Right. Yeah, I can't remember what this one's called because the label's missing. But it's a P3. It's one of their flesh tones. And we're going to highlight up with this. Alright. This one is 93059. Rin flesh. Ah, yes, that might be it. Yeah, but it was ripped. So I couldn't see what it was called. And I knew which one it was when I picked it up. But obviously I kept forgetting. Oh. You know, I don't think we have him... I don't think he's got the base, but I'm pretty sure we've got that as a bones miniature. Yeah, Rin Flesh. Yeah, I think we've got that one as a bones mini. Because I think it was in Bones 4 and it might not have been released yet. Because it looks really familiar to one we've got. But if it is, I don't think he has the base. But we've definitely got a troll holding up a jawbone. Right. Anyway, back to this chap. That's quite a long way from... Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I tend to use Instars, but I do quite like the P3s. I have a few. I bought some of their flesh tones as a triad for lazy painting, you know, as you do. But I tend to use Instar paint most of the time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because not all the Bones 4 stuff is out, but we definitely have one holding a jawbone like that. And he's holding it up in a threatening pose. It might be a slightly different sculpt, perhaps. But that looked really familiar. Okay. Right. So got some highlighting on his face. But I don't know. Like I say, I haven't... It looks really familiar. It'll be in the red box that we've got with some miniatures in. There's like a whole stack of trolls in there, I think. Is that, or it'll be in a bag in the box. Because we've got a box full of trolls as well. Like a bag full of trolls. Right. There we go. Highlighted up his face a bit. So got a little more detail in his face now. Can do his hands. Hopefully this is looking more like your character, Emerald. Ah, yeah, this guy. This guy looks like the same sculpt. Bones 4. Yeah, we will definitely get to making him look more worn. We're still doing the highlighting and bringing out the details. The weathering is the last thing we do. I mean, you can make it part of the painting process, but it's a lot easier. Or his brother. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. It is a bit of a slow process. Painting is not quick. I mean, we're getting quite a lot done. We'll highlight up his trousers some more, I think. They still look a little too bland for my tastes. There we go. But that brings out his hand, his face. We'll add a little more highlighting to the other hand. Nearly 2 hours in. Yes, he has come a long way from our starting image. Which was just a zenithal prime. So I sprayed in black and then I did white from above to self-highlight. There we go. The gun will change colour, yeah. The art has a slight green tinge to it, so I started with some green, but we'll put some burnt iron metallic over it. That is not a troll. Yeah, I will. The gun will change colour. I just wanted to make sure there was that green hint coming through in the metal. I'm going to bring out some more of the blue. Gertrude. So I'm just lightly adding in a little bit of stippling and a really light blue just to help bring it out a bit more, because there's quite a lot of dark on him and some of the detail in his trousers is getting lost. So do that. Oh, is it? I don't recognise it. Ermintrude. Ermintrude. Okay. So, do you think the skin's about right, Emerald? Still kind of tanned, but we've got enough detail. We can bring it up a little bit more. I haven't painted the Massive Darkness Troll. I've done the unicorn, the iron golem, and the spider. And I've got the werewolf primed and... Okay, brilliant. Right. We are going to go in a little bit in the eyes. His eyes are very small, so we're not going to add too much detail, but we can add a little bit of... in fact, we'll go with this one. Add a bit of that to it. We're going to add a bit of extra shadow into his eyes. His eyes are too small to paint, but we can give the impression of more depth. We'll tidy that up a bit. Excellent. Good to know that we're getting there. Yeah, I haven't done most of the monsters in the Massive Darkness box. I mean, you know, I've got the Kickstarter edition I'm painting. I just haven't got to him. I'm still working my way through the guard cards. It's taking ages. There we go. So you've got a bit more depth to his eyes. I think we might have to grab a little bit of that. Get under there. And under there. And then we'll highlight up his brow a little bit more just to help emphasize his eyes. And his nose. Just a touch more in there. Huh? Arg? Have you been watching Troll Hunters? There we go, that's a bit better. There is a Funko version of him too. There we go. Right. Let's see, what else do we need to work on? We do want to bring out that gun. We're getting pretty close now. We still need to work on his shoes. Right. So we're going to go over the gun with some burnt iron because it'll give it a nice dark tone. See if we can find the right brush. Ron Perlman! Okay. So we're going to go over the gun now. A lot of that green is going to disappear. But as we're only going to do one coat of the metal, some of that green will still come through ever so slightly. There we go. There you go, Emerald. You're, have to get some sleep. Okay. That's alright. You go look after yourself, Magus. And hopefully we'll catch you again sometime. Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for the host. Yeah, there we go. That looks more like a gun. Alright, so we need to add a bit of detail to his shoes, because they are very boring at present. So we'll use some, make it a bit darker. So we're going to use a light grey, or lighter grey. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to edge around the bottom, because apparently the soles are in a light grey. Let's get in there. There we go. Right. Let's have a look, see what else he's got. Got a little bit of strap across there as well. We can get back in there with the dark slate blue and tidy up a little bit. Right, okay, we might have to go a lighter grey because that's struggling to stand out. So we'll go with that. And we'll go around it again. Just so you know, Mages, this miniature will be for sale when I've done. So if you are interested in buying your character miniature, do send me a message. You can hit me up after the stream. And we can get you your character mini. Okay, so we'll add a little more detail across his shoes. Go back in and add this detail in. See, there's a slight lip, so it's causing me to catch there. But we can tidy that up. But yeah, Emerald, if you have an interest, do let me know. Because most of the minis I paint up on a Saturday will be available for sale, people to buy. Because you know, it would be nice to have some extra Suzerain minis out there, right? Right, we'll put a dark wash over the gun, see if we can get some detail on it. There we go. Got a little more detail on the gun. We've got the blue trousers. Let's do something a bit more with this buck. Let's go with, we'll darken that up a little bit, and we'll go over this slightly darker brown. There we go. Snake's on the move again. Yes, if you are, you know, if you're concerned, you could always hit up MMK about it instead. I do know him, so. And you have gamed with iZombie, in case you hadn't made that connection. But yeah, if anybody is interested in buying these, you can hit me up, or you could hit up MMK if you know him. Or, you know, message iZombie if you know iZombie. Whatever makes people comfortable, really. Alright, we've got some detail on his shoes. So his shoes are a bit more interesting. We're going to highlight up the stones a little bit because they're quite bland. Go with this one to highlight. We're not going to do too much work on the stones. They're not the most interesting bit of the piece. But we do want a little bit of work on them. Like that. Get around this side as well. Yes, I have been airbrushing turbo note paints using this handle. That's why it's a bit sparkly. This is the one that I airbrushed Killbot on. Yeah, the pink glitteriness. Okay. Got a little bit more on this one. Just add a bit more around the very edge. Brighten up those ones. There we go. So those stones have come out quite nicely. Let's see, what's missing? Anything you think is missing, Emerald? I think I might highlight up a little more on this strap here because it's disappearing. So we're going to go with a bit more swamp brown and some white. Oh, yes, we do have a bot that patrols. Yeah, it's not as bad these days. Mostly it doesn't like Dave. Yes, and it will, I believe, kick you off and before it will let you back on as well. I think that's what it does. Yeah, let's highlight up this, because he's got like a belt on his coat on the miniature. So we can highlight that up a little bit more. Along there. Yeah, we're going to try and bring out some more of the details, make his coat look a little more textured, a bit more flowing, and then we'll add a little weathering, make him look a bit scruffier, a bit more like a river rat. Right, so we've got a little more detail on the coat now. So his coat's definitely got more texture. Let's pick out a little detail on the book. I need a slightly finer brush for this because the book's not very big. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little weathering and scuff marks around the edge of the book. and a nice light tone. Because I think this guy, Malthus is, if he's carrying a book, it's probably going to end up scruffy just from him carrying it around and doing stuff with it. But maybe he's been employed or recruited to collect this book. Maybe somebody believes it's a font of knowledge. Right. Yes. Old knowledge with value. Let me make that one. Add a little bit of that to it. There's like a little shield on this book. So we'll do that in blue. We can maybe put a little bit of something on that. Vintage and Summers catalogue for the discerning collector. Yeah. Right, we can maybe put a really small, simple logo on there. Any thoughts? Has to be really small and very simple. I don't have a lot of space to work with, but we can get a little logo on that. Maybe a letter. What should we go with? A three-pronged thingy could make a compelling Trinity symbol. A skull. Dave. Yeah, that's so simple. Yes, that's true. Let me have a little look. Can you spam a link to the Trinity symbol so I've got a little something to work from? And we can do that. If I recall, it is nice and simple, so we'll get that troll out of the way. But he could probably go in with the box of stuff. Yeah, he could probably find. I'm sure he could find something. I might even have something around, but it's trying to locate it. In the meantime, let's grab some weathering powders. So, we'll go with some weathering powders and make him look a little scruffier. We can maybe even add in some mud, because we've got some of this muddy ground. And I think this guy could have muddy boots. Yeah. So we'll start with the coat. And we'll start adding some pigment on. Let me go with some... Right. So first of all, we'll wet the area with some glaze medium, and then we'll put our pigment on. Right. Let's get the pigment open. So, the pigment is a powder that we're going to use. I'm going to make this guy look pretty scruffy. I might want a slightly smaller brush than that. I'm not sure I've got one. Yep, I do. There we go. The Trinity symbol is not a trident. Okay. So I can get some on the coat and around the back of the legs. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically lightly apply this, if I can get it to work, and then we can take off the excess. But because it's wet, it will stick, but selectively. So we're looking kind of weathered now. We've got some dirt. Ah. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. Excellent. Let's just get rid of that out of the way. So yeah, we've got some dirt on there now. So we can brush away some of the excess that we've got a bit higher up. Okay. Yep, okay, it's from the Suzerain primer. Very nice. Thank you very much for the follow, MMK, and thank you for joining us. We're making pretty good progress. How are you doing? So we've got down our base colours. We've done some shading, some highlighting. We're getting pretty close. We're just adding some weathering now. And we're going to add a little Trinity symbol to the blue shield on the buck. Crazy, but in a good way. Hey, that's not bad. We'll take that. Crazy in a good way. We will definitely take that. So I'm going to add a little bit of black pigment powder just around the very bottom of the coat. This one I'm applying dry rather than applying... I mean, the stuff's still a little wet anyway. I don't want too much because it is... well, it is very black. There we go. Yes, of course. Of course you did, MMK. That is typical. Every time you come in my chat, there's bottoms. Every time. Yep. You know, I really expected you to turn up when I was painting the unicorn, because particularly when I was painting its butt. Because, you know, unicorn butt. Okay. Some places you pay extra for that. Right, let's have a crack at this Trinity symbol. There is not a lot of space, so... And then we will apply some mud. So I'm going to do it in white so it stands out. Nice and bright. If I can get the cap off the paint, that'd really help. Okay. But I think we're getting pretty close. So I'm using the smallest brush I've got. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Very small. Let's see if we can get that ring in. Let me refocus so you can see it. There we go. We have our Trinity symbol if I turn it that way, since the book is side on. We've got just the suggestion of the ring behind. We've got the 3 prongs. Right, let's add some mud around his boots. Give him a river rat look. Right. So, the mud is quite messy, so there's no guarantee that it's not going to get everywhere. Because it's like a glue paste. And it smells terrible. So this is what it looks like in the pot. You can sort of see it oozing around. So yeah, this should be good mud for our paddle boat captain. Where's my brush? I'm going to need a smaller brush than that. I can't use that one. That one might do. Yeah, we'll use that one. Okay. Alright, let's get some mud around this guy's boots. I'll add a little bit on his trousers as well. There's no way he's kept those clean, right? Tentacle dog approves of simple application. Let's see. Maybe just go just there. And we'll add a little bit around the bottom of his cloak as well. His coat even, not his cloak. Just, there we go. So I'm sort of scraping against the bottom because then it'll build up underneath. Make it look like it's hanging off. Clean boots are not practical. Yeah. Get a little bit on the front there as well. Get that lump on. There we go. Is that normal mud or cow-made mud? This is special basing material mud. Fish face. It's glue mud. I mean, you know, it's also swamp mud for the miniature. But we've even managed to put in a little muddy footprint here where he's just slowly stepping forward. We've had a muddy footprint. Oh, yeah. There we go. I think I'm missing a bit of highlighting on that arm. I'm going to have to tidy that up. It's kind of bugging me now I've spotted it. Right, we'll go with that one. There we go. That's a little better. So we've got more highlighting on this side than we had on the other. If I scrape a square outline into that footprint, it could be the pressure plate Malthus failed to notice. Ooh. You are more than welcome to say a bit about him. We've talked about him a little bit, partly because Emerald is here. But not a lot. I'm sure you've got more to give us. Always a bit unlucky. There we go. I think we're about there. Oh, apparently he's got some powder on his hand. There we go. You know, he might have gunpowder on his hand, but not a blob of it like that. Thank you very much, Gamer Girls. We've even added in the Trinity symbol on the book. That was a little tricky to do. But that's come out pretty well. We've got a muddy footprint on the tiles. I've got a bit of green around the coats. It's a little more visually interesting. Yeah, the blue shield stands out quite well. That's why I went for blue, because blue stands out quite well on brown. And obviously the white stands out really well, so the symbol's pretty obvious. It's quite important, from what I understand, it's quite a significant part of the character, so important to include that. So there we go. We've actually added volume to his hair as well, when we've highlighted that up, which has added some texture too. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think I might add a little bit of dry brush to this gun, make it a bit shinier. But I think we're just about done with this guy. So maybe we can have a look at the box of stuff that I have and pick out something else for next week. So let's grab some chainmail. All that's wonderful and complex. Yes. Right. So this is a bit brighter than the I'm just going to use it from the pot because I don't want a lot, and I am dry brushing it, so if I can find a dry enough patch on my kitchen towel. I'll just go across the top with this chainmail. I don't normally use paint from the pot, but this is convenient. There we go. That makes the gun a little more clear, brings out a bit more of the details. What do you think? Okay, I think we're about done with this guy. The mud's even dried. I'm impressed how quickly the mud dried. So we have finished Malthus, our paddleboat captain of the Wilderlands. I do have a box of miniatures around, so we can have a look, see what to paint up next week. Because I have a big stack of miniatures to choose from. Let me raise my camera up a little bit. There we go. I'll refocus too. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got a beetle. We do have this guy. I actually have him in bones. I did not share the illustration. I can put that up. Let's see. I could definitely put that up. If you give me a moment. Image. Add. Browse. There he is. This is going to take over the screen, I think. There we go. Hold on, let me resize. Image. Just give me a second and I will resize to fit to screen. There we go. So this is Malthus, the character that is this miniature is representing. So there we go. Malthus the illustration, and hold on, let me just adjust the camera again. There we go. We'll refocus. And it's refused because there's not enough to focus on. There we go. So we'll kind of put him at the same angle. There we go. So we added in the bit of green around the coat. Gave him the blue trousers, which we have made muddy by the suggestion of Emerald that he would be quite muddy. But we did add in some grey on the detail of his shoes before we covered most of it with mud. Gave him a nice dark, very dark grey coat. Gave him nice black hair, highlighted that up, brought out the volumes. So yeah, pretty close, I think. I think we've got pretty close to the illustration there. I'm just going to shrink that down a little bit more so it can be a bit more out of the way. But we'll leave it up. And we can have a look at what to paint up next week. We'll leave him there. In fact, we'll pop into that side. That way he can be next to his image. There we go. So, thank you very much. So I do have this guy. If we wanted to go with this chat for something. Obviously, it's your call, MMK. Whether or not you want to go with this guy. But I do have one in bones. And I know you quite liked this one. But it's up to you whether or not you want to use these ones that we talked about before. Like I say, we do have a bunch of the sort of monster minis that we could use. We have this guy if we want to do more characters. Yeah, we have a bunch of character mini options. Yeah, well, we have a number of options for... I mean, we've got a big boar. I believe there was something where the guys encountered a very large boar. As you can see, he's quite a big boar. Yes, Mega Beetle could be a fun stream. I can definitely get that cleaned up and primed and ready for this. I can get it ready this weekend. But yeah, mixing things up might be kind of fun. Like the look of the beetle. Well, we can definitely do the beetle because it's not like we won't have plenty of options to do other things later. We have plenty of minis around. So yeah, we can go with the beetle. So, what sort of theme do we want to go with for the beetle? I've seen some really nice themes. I've seen someone do some iridescence on the carapace. It's a really nice big area to work with. So we can maybe do some patterning on that. Due to his size, he might take a couple of streams to paint up. Hellboy riding the giant pig. You can chomp minis together. It would look cool done with turbo dorks. But that would mean doing a huge bunch of it off stream. That's not the point. But we could do some really fun detail on the back. We can give it an interesting pattern. But yeah, I mean, we could go with a frosty theme. We could go with something fiery. We could maybe go with greens. Yeah, they don't brush on as well though, Dave. They're much better through the airbrush. Particularly the shifts. But yeah, I do have some fun basing materials that I could use if we went with a frosty, fiery theme. So we could add some stuff like this to the base. Give it a more lava-y look. We could go with a deserty theme. Could pretty much go with whatever you guys want, really. That's alright. Thank you very much for coming by, Emerald. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm glad that I was able to bring some life to your character in the form of a miniature. But yeah, there are a lot of options with this. So have a think. And we can pick something, like say... Well, you've had your character painted now. Right. For those who actually gamed with Malthus. Yeah, another session. Well, I can make sure that I take some nice photos of Malthus as well for you, MMK, and I'll make sure I send you a bunch of those. So you can have some lovely pictures of Malthus up. Maybe even put them on the character sheet. Well, we might have to find some miniatures for the rest of the party then, MMK. Might have to dig through and see if what else we can find. We can always leave the beetle for another day and try and get the rest of the party painted up. Because I think that could be quite cool. So if you've got some artwork and details for the rest... Alright, Dave, that's no problem. Yeah, you have a good weekend too, Dave. And thank you very much for coming in. It's always good to have you around. But yeah, if you send me some artwork for the rest of the party, we can see if we can find the rest of the group in miniatures. The beetle with lava trappings. Ooh, okay, spoilers. Yeah, I could definitely go for I could definitely give this thing a lava theme. Well, if I've got some artwork, I've got something, I can go digging through miniatures and I can work out whether or not I can modify some of them or anything like that. But yeah, I can definitely give this a lava theme. There's plenty of space to work that. But yes, I think we shall leave it there. I will have a dig through miniatures. We'll see what we can find that might match up with the rest of Malthus's gang. Malthus's... Oh gosh, that sounds terrible. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, iZombie. I'll definitely check that out later. But yeah, we'll definitely go with a lava beetle then. And we'll see if we can paint up the rest of the party. Yeah, we'll see if we can find the rest of the party. So some artwork for some of those, and I will have a dig around in my miniatures because it's not like I'm short of miniatures, and we'll see what we can find to match up with the rest of the party. We'll see about getting them painted up. We might even be able to get a couple of humanoid-sized minis painted in one stream next week. If we don't go with the beetle, we'll see. So thank you very much for coming in, guys. We'll see who is on, because we do like to raid and check out other people's streams. We will go and we'll raid This Be Wallace, because I believe he is streaming soon to support
you're good.
A community member who is trying to find a kidney donor. So we'll raid them. Let's see if we can find them on here. So go give them a follow, and if you can, if you can support their fundraising. That would be amazing. It looks like I can't raid them. Well, oh, that's a shame. Never mind. We will instead raid just ISIS. I think they're coming to the end of theirs, but we can raid them instead. There we go. So we'll dive into theirs, and we'll see you next week for more Suzerain mini painting. Paint up more character minis for Suzerain. We'll have a chat with MMK off stream, and we'll decide whether or not to do the Beetle, or we'll see what else we can find for character minis. Yeah. So thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Do check out Suzerain. Go to savagemojo.com and check out the game. And thank you very much. See you later, guys.
Hi from everybody over here.
Love the little ones and love to Zell, okay?
Oh, I just got a raid. Thank you, Agent Meeple, for the raid. I am just raiding myself. We're doing a charity stream. I'm sending you over to Nerd.
Come to me.
It's a train. Choo choo. Guys, thank you so much. I'm sending you. All right. Bye.
Bye.